the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens, and come and spend a day in the 757.
What's up, everybody? Here we are, the after show, but later, episode number 326. Is your boys D and Luis Cortez Jr. Today, we have a very special guest with us. Oh, EJ, I just remember I never even sent you the link, dog. Fabulous. I was like, you can pull it up. It'll be dope. I guess you're gonna have to be future dude for this one. EJ Reed, everybody. EJ Reed. Let's go ahead and welcome EJ. Now, let's see. We don't have any, but we got this. I was gonna say we don't have any applause. Let's let EJ up in here. EJ, thank you so much for joining us, man. How are you doing today?
Man, I can't complain. Appreciate you having me on here. You fellas having me on here, man.
Yeah, we're excited. I'm gonna have to ask you something today that I ask everybody. Luis had to go through it. Anybody that's ever been through the show has to go for it. And I think it's actually very fitting because I ran a poll on the Covino Rich listener page, and I was asking what year you started listening. We had almost 200 responses, and I was actually super surprised that it was over 54% of the people that answered the question had started listening in either 05 or 06. So I was super surprised. I want to know couple of things from you. What year you started listening and how you found them.
So it's almost like a mystery on how I found them. It's got to go way back in the time machine of the year of our Lord 2010. I was a senior in college back at the University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina. And my parents just bought me this it was a Hyundai Accent, I want to say. Ooh. And, I was appreciative of it, because, I didn't have a car at the time. My car broke down, and it came with like a free XM subscription. And I was just browsing on it. I think I landed on Stars 2, I think they were on at the time.
Yeah.
And, I just heard them. I think they had some tickle sack stuff going on. And I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. I think it might have been like, because I'm a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. I think it might have been the Huevo song.
Yeah. That hooked you,
actually,
huh?
Yeah, actually, I lied. I when I found them my senior year, I heard the song, but, life came along, so I lost them for a little bit. But then when I started this security job and towards the end of 2011, that's when I got permanently hooked. I found them again on it, and I got permanently hooked, and the rest is history.
Yeah. It's so crazy, man, how it's just something like that I started listening around the same time. For me, it was 2012. It was May 2012. And the only reason I know is because I know the show that hooked me, the episode. So I just had to look that up, and it was like May 23rd or something of 12. And I'm just like, damn, man. And it's funny because I think one of the clips was the thing that hooked me was Spot's Tuesday. That story. I don't know if it was live that they were telling it or they were going back in the day and kind of doing like a throwback type episode or whatever. But that was the one that caught me, as far as that was one of the first things I remember listening to when they were I think on Stars 2 back in the day too, when I caught them. So a good time. I know Luis has been listening since when? About the same time, 2012?
Yeah, it's whenever they moved to LA, so it was like right around then, I think.
Yeah, that's, you know what? And then so EJ said his was a car. I know you've said this before, but I forget. What was it that it wasn't a car for you? What was yours?
It was similar too. I work in we're contractors, so we get allocated company trucks, and it's, like most of them they're leased or whatever through and or whoever the fuck we lease them from. So at the time they're so new that a lot of them used to come with Sirius, or at the time it was just XM radio, I think. And so, but I used to listen to Faction. And so it was Faction Music or a radio station. Then it became Faction Talk, and then they had like Jason. They had the whole Jason Ellis and all that lineup. And then so I just had it on that channel one day when these guys were yapping about whatever bullshit. But I think what I remember like vividly was it was when Rich was talking about his little blue mug and how he kept it under a sink and shit. So I was like, what the fuck are these fools talking about, dog? This shit's crazy. Like, this shit's on the radio and shit. Like, I was after listening to Jason Ellis and all his fucking gay bullshit he was talking about. And so I was like, and then I think it was when I looked them up, because like a lot of people I think at first, now I don't think know so much, but they used to sound alike, or I didn't know who was who. So I always like, who the fuck is talking, right? And then so I like looked him up, and then I was like, yo, this fool kind of looks like me and shit, aka Covino. Not like me, but like I can relate to this guy kind of shit. So then I kind of dove deep into who they are and what they were all about. I'm like, yeah, this is what's up. So that's kind of how I started.
It reminds me of you said kind of looks like me. You meaning just like the type of person. I remember my dad said when he was young, he used to watch Chico and the Man, and Freddie Prince Jr. or Freddie Prince was Chico, and he was like Puerto Rican or something. But even though my dad's Mexican, he was like he just saw some brown dude on the TV, and he was like, "Oh shit, that's like me." So I completely say I didn't take it as you thought I looked like Cavino. You meant somebody like you, you know. So it's very cool to see that, and I mean that's one of the things that hooked you. So,
AKA, that was my Chapo ganger.
your Chapo ganger.
That's him. He's my Chapo ganger.
Okay, he's your Chapo ganger.
It's also funny. Luis mentioned that he couldn't really distinguish the two of them. That happened to me when I first started listening. Even though they don't sound anything alike, for some reason I couldn't tell them apart when I first started listening. As far as the voice goes,
No, same. I remember it took me so long to really listen and try to distinguish who was who. And lucky for us, around that time was when like social media and stuff started kind of getting big. Because if you started listening like '05, who knows? They had like a Facebook. I mean, like maybe even like a MySpace at the time, you know. So for me, I remember I looked them up a couple of times, and I may have even went and watched like a couple of YouTube clips or something, but I don't remember what it was. But after a certain while, it's funny when it clicks, and then you're like, oh, like how did I ever even like when I think now, I'm like, how did I ever confuse them? They sound so different to me. But I don't know, maybe it's like when you listen to a band, right? And you're kind of like at first they all kind of blend together. And then after you get to know them a little bit, you're like, oh, that's whoever, you know, that's insert somebody cool. I don't know, because the examples I give aren't going to be cool.
One of the earlier episodes of CNR that sticks out in my head. This might be like right when you first started listening, because it was like a few months after I started listening again. So it's like probably early 2012. The episode where they were substituting Spot's name in the song, like in all the pop songs.
I don't remember. I remember they did I think it was spot everybody for shots. I remember that one, but I don't remember them inserting his name into songs.
It was like just one random show. Like, they were just doing like a whole bunch of random songs, and they were just inserted his name that rhymes, in the song that rhymed with his name. It was like it probably was like maybe like March or April of 2012. So yeah, it was like one of the early episodes.
Yeah, I don't. It might have been right before I started listening, but it does sound vaguely familiar. Dog. I'm not feeling great, so I'm making up words now, dog. It feels vaguely familiar. But for this week, I appreciate you kind of catching us up on how you got here. But anything from this week that you wanted to talk about? There's a few things that I wanted to touch on. Rich's raffle ticket is one of them. I was telling Luis I got something to say about that. But if you guys wanted to talk about anything, Luis, if you want to, EJ, I know you're always up on it. I always see you in the chat. So anything you guys have, let's go ahead and get to it.
I mean, we know
EJ, I'll give you the honors.
Thanks. The bigger topic of this week is, I'm sure we'll get into it, the whole Super Bowl halftime show madness and whatnot. But what do y'all think about Rich taking over for these meetings that they have, and him kind of being like a ham during these important business meetings that they have?
I'll let Luis go because I have plenty of opinions on this too.
For those of us who know Rich Davis, I don't think any of us are surprised. But it's funny to see some of the back end shinfo. I think we all know there's like a give and take, and they have like a little bit of play on the show and shit. But when Cavino was talking about it sounded like he was kind of butthurt about it, or he was a little offended about it. And I think there's a time and a place and shit, and like it's a business. I would think it's kind of important, like what I mean. It's not like if it's just a bunch of buddies and shit, you can fucking around and be bullshitting and be loud and shit. But this is it was Sean Wyman, I think, and then I guess basically their peers, really the guys that Sean Wyman represents. Like at that point, I'd be like, yeah, I gotta tone it down, more professional. Right, this is almost a business meeting, so. I mean, I like to yap too, bro. So I get it. That shit's hard. I get going, I can't stop. But I gotta self mute and shit. So I think it sounds like Rich, but I think he needs to fucking tone it down. And I think the best part about all that shit was the fact when he was bitching about it today, that the homeboy was talking shit to him in the sauna. That homeboy in the sauna just kept yapping and yapping. They're like, motherfucker, that's a taste of your own goddamn medicine. Everyone was bitching about you today or the day before, and then
Mm-hmm.
you got a little bit of both. But I think that's kind of what makes them who they are. But that fucker needs a mute button too, for sure.
Yeah, no, but you know what though? The 100% the reason is because there was some young hot chick there. 100%. Because he's Mr. Yaps a lot. 100%, right? But just the fact that the fact that it was extra, the fact that it turned on extra was where I was like, it was only because there was that chick. They said she was young, she was hot, and she was blonde. I'm like, Rich Davis cannot turn down the three of those in one combination. And he was like, it bothered me when he was like, well, that's dumb because, she's married. Everybody knows that I'm married. I'm like, dog, that's not the point. It doesn't matter. You still want to be the man when you're around a hot chick. It doesn't matter if you're married or she's married or whoever. He wants to peacock. Right? Is that the correct phrase that they use, right? He wants to show her his feathers and peacock. It doesn't matter if she's married, if he's married. He still wants to know that if I wanted to, I could get her. That was my take 100% on it.
And when I first heard Cavino telling this story, I kind of got triggered. I don't know about you two, but back in my heyday when I was out going, trying to pick up chicks, I don't know if y'all had this one friend, but I had this one friend where you be out in front of girls, and in order for himself to look better, he kind of shit on you. And like, when he's telling the story and he's just shitting on you or telling the story about you, you're like, what are you doing, dog? Like, we're supposed to have synergy in this moment. We're supposed to be playing off each other. You don't have to shit on me, just to get the girl. So that's what it kind of reminded me when Cavino was telling this story.
No, and for me, it wasn't about shitting on it wasn't about shitting on friends, but my buddies, they had a name for me, and it was Mr. Funny Guy, because they said whenever there was chicks around, all of a sudden he became Mr. Funny Guy. So I have a little bit of Rich in me. That's why I can relate, and I can actually say, you know what? If there's a beautiful woman around, I might peacock, And so my buddy Nico, I remember he was younger than me, right? He was my little brother. But when he would kick it, he would always turn it on too. So then they started calling him Little Mr. Funny Guy. So it was, but that whole shitting on your homies, that's not cool, man. I don't see that. But I kind of felt like that was one thing that Rich did do, because Cavino was like, you say one or two things that makes me have to sit there and explain myself. I have to sit there. Oh yeah, just like Cavino's laser helmet. Ha ha ha. Now Cavino has to be like, oh well, what he's talking about is this, that's whack to me, where now he has to sit there and explain, or, oh yeah, just like, Cavino's divorce or whatever the hell. I don't know what he brought up, but I'm just assuming that's one of them. So, for me, hearing that, I was just like, man, like with you and your friends, and I have a question. Are you still friends with that homie, EJ?
Like, when I think about it, I can't even think of what specific friend it was. So, at most acquaintances, it's not like one of my close friends, but it's like, I think it might have been like a college buddy or something. And like, dude, why you gotta, it's like ball busting. Like, why you gotta ball bust in front of these girls just to, prop yourself up? Like, it's not cool.
Yeah. That's, I don't dig
I had a similar situation. We used to call this guy One Up, because no matter what you would say, he would want to one up you, especially around chicks, and be like, motherfucker, you never say shit when it's just us and shit. And all of a sudden this chick shows up that ain't even all that, it's just some chick, right? And all of a sudden he has the best stories, he has the best jokes. And to me, that's like that guy who's always talking about, I got all this money, or I got the biggest wang around. That's like, it's a little bit of insecurities, you know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't like that either too, because it rubbed me the wrong way. I just want to say what's up to the chat right here. And Lisa's saying she felt embarrassed for Rich and horrified for Steve, and I totally vibe with that. And I think that's probably to Steve. I think his biggest thing is like, it's business, he's trying to get that bag. Sounds like I got that contract and shit, so hopefully it worked out. But that should be mattering sometimes, dude. Things like that. Imagine somehow there was a dispute, or I doubt they wouldn't get re-signed because of some shit like that. But that should cause friction, and there's a time and a place. But Rich Davis has no filter.
And then did you see Andrew Sims's comment? Rich was acting a bit flirty with La Reina at the CRC, and you know what? I wasn't there for that rooftop party, but if she was anything like she was at the pool, where she was wearing a leaf to cover her vajay, and she was all out there, dog. I think she had a string in her butt cheeks. I don't know though, because dog, you couldn't even see. She was all out there. She was drunk. She was flirty. So if that's what happened at the rooftop, doesn't surprise me at all.
Wait, who's Lorraine? I know Monty. Who's
Lorraine? She was before Monty, I'm pretty sure, on Fox Sports. So she used to be like one of like their associate producers or whatever, and they were kind of together. They were hanging around the main little cabana where they were doing the show from at the swim party. And she was wearing like a reddish orange bikini. Whatever material was there, that's what color it was. And I'm just saying that I think, it was barely covering parts, is from what I heard. So
research says, the myth says, and I mean, I was there, and you're right. I'm surprised you didn't see her, EJ. If you were there, she would have set out too. She was there, and yeah, she was cheeks out, and she was a monster. They were walking around, and they were just kind of hooping, hollering. When they were giving gifts and shit, they were the ones kind of throwing them around at the pool and stuff.
EJ was too busy being cool that day, dog. Do you remember EJ, dog? I remember his fit with his glasses, dog. He had his sunglasses on, and he was just I don't know if he partakes in anything extracurricular, but I just know that he was chilling, and I was just like, damn, man. I came to talk to EJ, and we were bullshitting a little bit, and I was just like, damn, man, EJ's so cool. I want to be cool like that, because dog, it's funny because sometimes I'll be around certain people that have this certain, like Bruno Mars said, dripping in finesse, right? And they're just chill right there, right? Cool. Everything about them's cool, dog. We're just chilling. And I was just like, I want to be that chill dude that's just cool, People would come up and you'd be like, what's up? I'm EJ, blah, 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 whatever. Bullshit. But me, I just was walking up to everybody. I'm like, what's up? I'm Daniel. I couldn't be cool, dog. And it sucks because I wanted to be cool. So, but yeah, they may have been why EJ, because he was too busy taking in the moment, dog. He was over here dripping in finesse.
Oh man, I appreciate the compliment, but little old me, I'm not cool, man. I'm just off in my own world. But I'm usually on high alert when it comes to cheeks, and I usually have like a cheek radar. I'm surprised I missed this.
A cheek dar. You got that cheek dar?
Yeah. I was like in my own little world, smoozing around and meeting people, but maybe that's why I missed her. But I could see Rich definitely.
If you seen her, you would have known. You would have remembered, I think.
Yeah, like y'all said, Rich is a flirty dude, so I'm not surprised that he was hamming it up in front of this 100%. Lady.
Yeah, and I have other examples, but I'm not trying to put him on blast or make Sarah think anything, because I know Rich is in good fun and he just wants to be the man. But I've heard other stories where there will be the most attractive chick at the party, and he's usually over there chumming it up with her to try to get that. He's trying to peacock, as always. So I could see why it would bother Cavino, and especially how you said, EJ, how you had that homie, and then Luis, you said you had one up. Everybody has that person, and unfortunately for Cavino, it's one of his closest friends, so that sucks. Andrew Sims retracted a message. Wonder what happened there. What up, Double M? We got you over here live again, man. I'm so excited. Today, Luis don't have the Star Wars theme, but he's got on what are those little hearts for Valentine's Day? That's what's on his hat, if you can't tell.
They're the ones that everybody gets, but nobody fucking likes. They're sweethearts, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, so that's dope. Got a little theme going on. This fool's always got a theme, dog. We've done like 16 episodes together, and every time this fool comes in with some kind of theme, and it always trips me out. I just have my black hat and my black shirt always, dog. 300 and something episodes of just a black hat and a black t-shirt. But yeah, let me see if there's anything else that I missed in the chat. That sound effects was racist. Oh, Felipe Esparza is coming to town. I'm excited. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the comedian Felipe Esparza, but he'll be in town, I think, next month. So I snatched up a couple of tickets to go see him. Me and my lady are going to see him. I talked to Magical Mexican, a few days ago. He said he's going to be there. So I'm excited, man. I've never seen Felipe live. Magical Mexican was sending me a couple of pictures. He got to meet this dude. He's been to a few of his shows, and I'm like, I'm so stoked, man. So it's hopefully that one's a good time. Partners are supposed to make each other look better and stronger, not weak and less than, says Lisa. I think that was a good point right there.
You're supposed to be a wingman. You're supposed to alley-oop it, when you're out there in the field. So I agree with that.
Andrew says, I was just saying that EJ had to have seen La Reina. She was all over the pool party. And she was a little, dog, I love Monty. Monty's cool as hell, dog. I got to meet her over there. I mean, like, I'm sure you guys all did. But, dog, La Reina was a little too much for me, Oh, yeah. One thing I like about Monty is she's a little conservative, right? She's really cool. She's like a butterball would be a bad example because it makes it sound like she's fat. But like she's like short and like stocky, like her little build. And she's just so cool, man. She's her like even the bikini she was wearing was modest. Like it was just like very, very cool. I thought she was very cool. And then La Reina comes over here all like she's like the chick dog that is like tripping over herself at coming out of the club at night where people are like, oh man, they better walk her to her car. Some dude's gonna try to snatch her up, That's La Reina. So yeah, if you mind, EJ, we'll drop some pictures to you eventually because I'm sure they're all over the CRC little Google account that I know Spot made. But yeah, man, I'm sure you've seen her, and it probably was. You probably did give her like, damn, who's that over there? Like, not even like, damn, she's fine, but just damn, who's like making a fool over there, acting a fool, Compact, thank you, Lisa. Not a butterball. Monty's compact. There we go. A butterball, dog. I can't believe I said that's messed up, man. But yeah, what else? I know Luis said that you snatched up a couple of tickets for Rich's. Rich was saying, for you guys that are maybe have missed it, Rich is selling a couple of tickets to his kids' raffle or whatever, and they're giving away things for his baseball team from he said from like a Rolex to like, I don't know, iPhones and stuff or something, right? Gift cards and stuff. So Luis said that he bought a couple of tickets to support the cause. I'll tell you why I'm not doing this. EJ, are you supporting the cause?
I heard it today, and, I'm no Grinch or anything, but, I have slight reservations. I got to look into it because when they said the winner gets a Rolex, I'm like, what kind of raffle is this? Like,
what kind of hood bullshit is this?
Yeah, so I'll do my research. Like, I'm always willing to support, but I got to know what this is about.
No, I'll tell you why I'm not. 100%. This is why I'm not. So Rich did have one of these, and he'll probably say, no, I didn't. But I know because it left a bad taste in my mouth. And as soon as he said raffle, I was like, fuck that raffle. Because he had one before. It might have been for something Emmy was doing. If she was doing like some kind of dance class back in the day. Or maybe it wasn't even for him. Maybe it was like Shannon's brother or I don't know, something Rich related. He had said, hey, if you buy a ticket for me, it'd be helpful, whatever. I Venmo'd this fool the 10 or 20 bucks or whatever it was. Motherfucker never even said thank you, liked my message, never sent me a raffle ticket number. Fuck it. I just sent like 20 bucks or whatever into the ether and never even got didn't even heart my message so I know he got it. It just said red. And I was like, motherfucker, now I know you seen that. But I was like, not even hey, here's a copy of your ticket or some shit. This is when the drawing's going to be or whatever. Dog, I had nothing to go off of after that. It was literally, I sent him this whatever, 5, 10, 20, whatever the hell it was. I really don't know what it was. But never heard anything about it. Never heard. There wasn't even a follow-up of, hey, remember that raffle that I asked you guys to buy tickets from? Oh, man, it was cool. First place got a TV or something. Nothing. I didn't have a draw date. I didn't have hey, look forward to this in case you do win something. I'll hit you up in a week. Like I said, not even the message. So it literally was like I sent it and never heard anything from it. So I was like, man, fuck that. At least if you support Cavino's cause, he'll be like, hey, bro, I appreciate it. Cool. I know you got the message. I know if something comes up and I do win, you're going to hit me up. That was just like, he just there fucking whatever, so no, never again. I won't. So, and I know it sucks because you're supporting Ben, not Rich, but sometimes your actions affect other people. And if he would have even said, hey bro, I appreciate it, I'd be like, cool, but nothing. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need this pat on the back. You're my buddy, whatever. But at least acknowledge the fact that I gave you a few dollars, right? Like I don't know, man. It just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty selfless person, so I'm not looking to get any praise or thank yous. But sometimes when you do a gesture, you like to get a little bit of knowledge, right?
Something.
At least recognition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not even like, hey, thanks, dog. That's all. Let me know, right? Thanks. I know you received it. It said Rich Davis received your money, whatever.com on Venmo or whatever the hell. So I know you got it, but
This is what I learned today. You can buy Rich Davis' love because I was listening on delay, and then when I got back to work in my office, I caught to the rest of the show, and then I shot him a message on DM. I think they were on Fox Radio, and when they go to break, if you're watching Fox, they still have like the cam on them or whatever. I
yeah.
can see him checking his fucking phone, and then like immediately I got a DM back and shit, and so I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to fucking help out, whatever. Let me know how I can do this or whatever, and then immediately just sends me his fucking Venmo shit. And then as soon as I said I was gonna buy some, he clicked to follow me back and shit. So if anyone wants to listen out there, if you want Rich Davis to follow you, just send a donation. He might follow you back. That was not what I was trying to do and shit, but you can buy his love very cheap. Just buy it, just throw bet a couple bucks. Next thing you know, he's gonna be on my top 8 from now on.
All right.
I have
And
a
you know
question.
what? In Rich's
What's up?
defense, this was a few years ago, so he's might have changed his ways, right? He might be
He
giving
did
love.
say thank you. He
Yeah.
did say thank you. He said appreciate it, and then he's like, "Hey, don't." He said you said a little much, whatever. But I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm just trying to help. Send me a receipt so I can write that bitch off." Is all I'm looking for.
As the charity, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Little
What's
bit,
up, BJ?
a little bit of side note. I have a question. Cavino's been on this show, right?
Yeah.
Spot has too, right?
Yep.
Has Rich been on there?
Nope.
I'm starting to connect the dots a little bit.
And and you know what though? I did throw it out there for episode number 300, and because Rich even said one day they were talking about the after show, and Rich said, "Oh, because they had joked about Rich had to go on somebody's podcast or whatever, or somebody asked him to be on their podcast, and Rich was like, man, I don't want to do their podcast." And then Spot was like, "Yeah, pipe down, Daniel Javier Fitz." And then Rich was like, "No." Rich was like, "He's never asked me to be on the after show." And then Cavino goes, "Check your messages." Because I had messaged them one time and it was all 3 of them. And so I was just like, whatever, dog. I mean, whatever. It is what it is, He's always been very gracious to me when I've seen him in person. Very cool dude. So whatever shit I talk is just really breaking balls. And anything I say here, I would not refrain from saying to his face, So I would just be like, dog, what the fuck? I bought tickets from your kid. You can't even give me a what's up or a fist bump? Nothing? Damn. I would tell him in person. So it's never nothing. It's never hateful coming from me or anybody associated with the after show, but later. Is that the
Hey,
disclaimer we have
Magical
to put out?
Mexican. Magical Mexican says, "I don't like to bother my own fan with the raffle. Just buy them all yourself with all that money he has." And
No
then Lisa
shit.
says, "You're not the only one, brother." Apparently, and Lisa's like, from what I know and heard, I mean, she loves to help and support. So she says, "I sent 200 one time for something, never got a thank you or acknowledgement. I even asked, did you get the and crickets? Just wanted a private yes. If anything, just to know, hey, did you fucking get it? Like, did it go to the wrong fucking person? Like, did I get scammed? You know what I mean? Like, hey, just make sure you got
Dog,
it, right?
2
And that's kind of
bills?
unfortunate.
2 bills and not even a thank you, dog. I'm over here complaining about my 10 or 20 bucks, whatever mine was. But 2 bills, dog, I wouldn't have left him alone. I'd be like, dog, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Dog, did you get it? It cleared my bank. Did you get it?
Recall that bitch. Fraud.
Oh my goodness, man.
couldn't be me. I spend 2 bills. Like, you better acknowledge.
Yeah, for real. I better get a personal shout out. Rich rarely gives shout outs on the on the show when Cavino's doing his charts. Once in a while he'll give a couple people a shout out, but I better get my own personal shout out during that time if I send Rich 2 bills, dog. Hell no.
Listen up tomorrow. We'll see if he says anything to me. So I'm gonna keep an ear open tomorrow. And I'm not expecting shit. Trust me. You already said thank you. I just like to help. Trust me. I don't have any kids. I help anyone who comes ask me. If you have the courage to put it out there, specifically the kids. I mean, it's not like he's gonna have Ben out there buy a ticket. But when they get old enough, I just want to help because I know what it was to be young and hustling and try to pay for all that shit. I know he has the money. It's more about just helping the community. But Magic Mexican says that Lisa and Dee paid for his fucking backyard renovation.
Dog, and did you see Lisa? She goes, I should request it back. I
Yeah,
bet
for real.
she'll hear from him then.
Yeah,
dog.
like what you talking about?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, dog. That's the thing. Is like even if people at work, buy something from my kid or something, dog, and say they send me the money through like Zoom or not Zoom, through like Zelle or whatever the hell, cash, whatever. I forget these apps, dog, but Venmo, right? I'll hit them back with it. Hey, thank you, I appreciate it. When I see them in person, right, walk by their office, hey, I seen you pick that up, appreciate it, or whatever. But dog, just ghosting them, dog. Like they buy something from your kid, you just walk by their office, you're like, hey, you know what we're having for lunch? Like that. Like, you motherfucker. I told my daughter, Doug, how to say motherfucker without actually saying it. You say motorcycle light bulb because a motorcycle in Spanish is a moto, right? And then a foco is a light bulb. So sometimes I'll say motofoco, and my daughter just looks at me, dog, because she's like, you fucking piece of shit. You know, she never said it, but she'd be thinking it. Yeah, man, let me see. What else we have going on this week? We had the dinners. We had the Super Bowl. We had, let me see, Sean Wyman called in. I'm sure Mauser got a gang of shout outs. Anything else that you guys could think about? Because I have something else we could talk about.
Just one real quick, because I love Jamesy voice and all he does, but it was
story,
fucking
dog.
hilarious I couldn't fathom the thing, and I could just when Cavino was saying that and Daniel, you're good at giving the backstory. Let me just spill my guts and you get everyone like what happened. But when Cavino was telling the story, how Don had to tell him that the Muppets were fake and shit, and he's like, but I saw him riding a bicycle. Like, what do you mean? Like, he's real. Like, I'm like, dude, imagine how fucking heartbroken the little fucker was when they had to tell him that the Muppets were fake and shit.
So,
and then the best part was Cavino was sending him audio messages of him like, hey buddy, like we're best friends or whatever.
Yeah,
like I'll see you around. Like that shit was fucking hilarious.
So if you guys missed this conversation, James, Cavino's nephew, you know, it's funny. I still call him the diaper baby because the first 2 years of life, Cavino would always say Jamesy boy, the diaper baby, or this super diaper baby or something, because he said every time he would see him, this fool wasn't wearing clothes. He was just in a diaper. And so I still think of him. Whenever he says James, I think of the diaper baby. But Cavino said that he was like, man, his sister called him and was like, hey, I had to have like a tough parenting moment where James, her son, loves the Muppets. And he was asking about like, hey, how are they affected with like COVID or something?
Like,
or
they get sick or
the
something?
flu or something, right? And
Yeah.
she was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, because like they're real people. Like, don't they get sick or whatever? And she's like, James, like, dog, you fucking serious? You know? Like she had to break it down to him and be like, and then dog, I'm like, oh my God, what broke my heart, dog, was when he said, well, like some of them are real, right? Like he said, like Kermit, he rides his bike and I see his whole body. I was just like, oh my goodness, dog, that's got to be so heartbreaking. But since my daughter's around, James is 8, James is 10, my daughter's 9. So actually last night I go, you know about Muppets? She's like, yeah. And I was like, you know, like, do you know about them? Like, whatever. She's like, yeah, they're puppets. She goes, they have puppeteers and this. And I go, so you know, like, they're not real? She's all, yeah. She goes, like, you know, they put them on the hand. And she's like going like this. And I was like, oh. So then I showed her the story and she was like, damn. She was like, look, like, and I told her, I'm like, do you see though? They had to tell him because they're like, if we don't tell him and he drops this story with the homies, they're going to clown him. They're going to be like, dog, are you fucking serious? And then he's going to have to be at school be like, but some of them are real, you know? And then dog, that he's going to have to be at school like, oh shit, they're going to be telling him about the Easter Bunny or whatever, dog, and at school. So I think it is better that he went through it at home with the family and they could kind of let him down easy and he didn't have to get made fun of by the homies or whatever. But I was just like, dog, that sucks. That just sucks, dog, because, you know, the kids, they grow up so fast, and then things like that remind you that, nah, dog, they're just still little kids, you know? It's just like, damn, man, like, this kid, as much as he even said, they were on Uncle Steve's show. Oh, my God, dog. I'm like, please, James, stop it, dog. You keep turning the knife. I'm like, poor kid, man. Oh, yeah.
So, but besides Santa Claus, anything that you two could think of that y'all found out a little bit too late, like maybe in middle school, that maybe other kids knew about?
The tooth fairy was one for me because like I kind of like had a growth spurt later on in life, so I still had baby tooth like up in the middle school and shit, and I was like, yo, where's my fucking money at and shit. Like, I didn't give a fuck about tooth fairy other than like, yo, where's my cheddar at and shit. And then, my mom's like, what the fuck you mean? Shit, like you grown ass kid already. Like we used to put money. I'm like, what? Like what the fuck? This isn't how it works. I thought it was a transaction, but yeah, it was a tooth fairy for me, dog.
Ah, no, dog. I remember in 4th grade, I remember Miss Nepper was my teacher. And I remember me and the homies, dog, there was a couple of girls in there. And we were all talking about how a bunch of this is bullshit. And I remember us sitting like around in like a little circle. Be like, dog, can you believe that my mom still believes I believe this bullshit? And dog, I swear to God, I remember we for a minute they were renovating our school. So they had our classrooms in trailers, like double wides and shit. And so, dog, I remember standing in there in that little double wide, talking to my friends and being like, yeah, man, this bullshit, whatever. I can't believe they think I'm this fucking dumb. And we were in 4th grade. So I don't think there was anything that I went too long about. And then I think it also helps, like, when you have siblings and shit, because then, like, you kind of help keep it alive for the younger siblings. So I don't know, maybe that was part of it. But yeah, man, there was nothing for me. Magical Mexican said that if nobody told James and he had to find out at school, his nickname was going to be Muppet the rest of his life, dog. And you know what? I'll give you an example of this. And let me know. Chime in if you guys need to. But I have a quick story about the rest of your life. There was this chick, dog, in kindergarten. She shit her pants, right? And her name was Maria. Dog, we were in like probably junior year of high school. And if anybody referenced Maria, they'd be like, right, hey, oh, so I was talking to Maria? Like, oh, the one that shit her pants? Dog, and people made it like she shit her pants last week, dog. And we were like damn near 18 years old already. That was the rest of, dog, to this day, dog. I know her last name and I'm sure she's out there somewhere, but this poor little Mexican girl, dog, didn't know English. They probably didn't even have toilets where she was from, you know? So she comes to the States and shit, dog, tries to go to kindergarten and shits her pants. The rest of her life, dog, is ruined. So
people don't forget.
Yeah, 100%, right? Super bad.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. The examples that I have, I could think of off the top of my head are dealing with smut.
Like what?
I was like not because when I was in 4th grade, I used to hang out with the older neighborhood kids. They were like 7th, 8th grade, and one pulled out a condom, and he was like, "You know to put this on?" And like I was trying to fake the funk. Yeah, I know to put it on.
I got 2 on right now.
I didn't know what to do with that thing. And I know another example was like we were on the bus. It was like 6th grade, and one of the older kids on the bus was like, "I busted a fat nut yesterday."
Oh, dang!
And I was like, I didn't know what it was, but I was like faking the funk, acting like I knew what it was. And you didn't have a computer in your hand back in the day.
Yeah.
So I just went like a couple of more years without knowing what that was. So that's like 2 examples.
Oh, I got one for you, Doug. I remember I was in like 5th or 6th grade, and they had said the word cock in a book that like my teacher was reading. It was like, I don't know, something about, and then he owned 3 cocks or whatever. You know, they like read to the class. Dog, everybody was busting up laughing. And I remember, dog, again, about faking the funk. I was like, the fuck that mean? No, and I had to just play it off. Like, I knew, dog. And it was funny because it wasn't until later when I found a magazine that it had said in there about, it was like, make this rock hard or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's what it was? I had a flashback to like 2 years before, dog. I was like, oh, dang. I wanted to go back and laugh with them for real. Like, I know what they're saying now, you know? But, yeah, man, those examples. Sometimes. And you know what, dog? It's funny because, like, I remember, you're talking about smut. I remember when my buddy was talking about, like, touching himself, dog, in, like, 5th or 6th grade. And I was like, the fuck you do, dog? I remember, dog, I was so like, what? I remember, and then he was saying this and this. I still remember, dog. It was one of my homies. He's a crossing guard now, dog. So I mean, all that knowledge. I mean, who knows? You know, it didn't go very far. But this fool was very street smart, and he was talking about going to town on himself, and I was like, wait, hold on, dog. Like I felt like he was getting like inappropriately touched by somebody, dog, but it was himself. I was like, wait, you do that to yourself, dog? What's wrong with you? Oh man.
It's funny you brought up the cock story because the local college where I grew up in, the Gamecocks. So people made cock jokes all the time, and I ended up going there for college. But this was like back in 6th grade. Somebody like made a cock joke, and I thought it was a butt. I didn't know what a cock was. Too. So it's funny that you brought that up.
You thought it was a butt, dog?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? How is it, dog, that you get in the ballpark, right? But you don't get up to bat because you know it was something dirty and it had something to do with privates. You just weren't sure whose or what or where, right? You weren't sure if it was male, female, if it was the front or the back. You were just like, I just knew it has to be a butt, dog. If they're saying it has to be a butt.
Somewhere in that vicinity, right?
Oh my goodness, dog. That is so funny. Let us know in the chat too if there's anything you guys relate on. I think the smut ones are the funniest, dog, because I grew up, I was super sheltered. The way Cavino says that Hortensia was with if there was like boobs on the TV, she would change the channel and this and that. I very much so like that, dog. My mom's young and she was still like, nah, ain't none of that shit in my house, dog. If there was ever like anything, she was fast forwarding shows and make us leave the room or whatever. Very, very sheltered. So when I'm going to school, dog, with my little hood kids who haven't known their dad since like they were 3, you know, dog, I'm like, they had to grow up a lot faster than I did. I'm like, I had both parents, like, you know, they were happy. Like, I didn't learn about all this street shit, dog. Oh, my goodness.
My mom is a lot like Cavino's mom as well. Like, I never heard my mom say a curse word. She's never drank before, so I was not allowed to look at any of that stuff. But I used to get away with it when I used to go to friends' house, so that's the way I was able to sneak it in. But yeah, I couldn't watch any of that in front of my mom. To this day, I still can't curse in front of my mom.
I get, I don't want to say I don't curse in front of my mom, but even like the sexual shit still makes me kind of weird, you know? It reminds me of like George Lopez, where he talks about, like on one of his old specials, he's like, they give you the sex talk like way too late. It's like, mijo, what are you, 34? Bring your kids. We need to talk about sex. And it's so funny because it's still like everything. And it's funny because one of my best friends, his family is the complete opposite of my family. Like they were buying him like porno mags and stuff when we were young, and they were like, whatever. It was just a free for all in their family. But in my family, everything was so reserved. So it was like everything was cochino, right? Like if there was a TV and the girl started taking her shirt off, she had a bikini on or a bra, my mom was like, close your eyes, cochino. You know, she knew that you wanted to look. If she was like, close your, you'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm not looking, you know, like, oh. But yeah, so it was just like, I don't know, man. No swearing, no nudity, no perv, says Lisa. My family was like that too. No, and it trips me out because I remember we must have been like juniors in high school, and I was at my buddy's house, and his mom gets home. She's like, Mira, mijo, she brought him like a Playboy and some condoms because he had a girlfriend. And I was like, dog, where the fuck am I? This is not how my house works. Cause like literally, dog, I remember she brought him like a big old box of like Costco condoms. So it was like the fucking pack for like that was gonna last. He probably still has the same box, dog. So like, yeah, it's crazy. Magical Mexican said this turned into the have kids, they said, with all this smut talk. We'll get back to some CNR right now. We promise.
Yo, real quick, my mom was like a little bit different because I'm the baby, I guess, and it was 3 boys, right? So, and my big brother's 8 years older than me, and my other one's 5. So, like, they were ahead of the game and shit. And like at first, it was awkward, and even my homies, like, I remember my mom was like, to your story earlier, EJ. It was weird, but I kind of appreciate it nowadays. She's like, you guys know how to put a condom on? I mean, she pulled a fucking banana out, opened the condom, like,
your
this
mom?
is inside, this is, yeah, bro, and like, this is outside and shit. Like, it's like, she was like, you fools are not gonna have fucking kids until you're like, you need to graduate and not have no kids, like, and this is what you need to do and shit. So she like got down with us like that and showed us how, like, not in our shit, but like showed us, and like, bro, as you know, I was a fucking little kid, maybe like 10, 12. My brothers were, you know, teens already, and it was more for them. But like, let me see you all guys down, and like, I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is my mom doing this shit, bro? Like, honestly, it was like good, bro, because like in that era and that age, like it was not unheard of, like kids getting pregnant in fucking middle school and high school. We had like one of the most high rates of fucking kids getting pregnant and shit. So, you know, she was doing us a solid and shit. And if anything, they got us ahead of the game. So when the time that shit came, you were already like, "What's up?" I didn't have to fake the funk. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is inside, this is out, baby. Like I got this shit." You know what I mean? And so I appreciate it, but trust me, at the time, bro, shit was awkward as fuck.
Luis is like, a girl pulls out a condom, and Luis goes, "It's all good. My mama showed me how to do this."
What? Like what the fuck were you
going on in that house?
Child services get called to the house.
Bro, we almost got in trouble one time because like you go like talking to the homies and shit, and then like I told the homie about it, and like he told his mom, and then like his mom was tripping, and mom was like, "Yo, you do whatever the fuck you want. Like I'm trying to make sure my kids are A, protected, and B, to do something stupid and shit. If you want to be the one, the grandma or the mom who has a fucking kid who has a kid because you didn't teach them about the birds and the bees and shit, that's on you and shit." So my mom was able to like kind of shrug it off, but
Yeah.
you know, to me it was all cool. I appreciate it now, but at the time it was not fun.
I'm the youngest too. I have two older siblings. One's 5 years older and one's 8 years older, like you, Luis. Except my two older siblings are girls, so
Oh yeah.
they were really strict about. My parents were really strict about my sisters like going out and stuff in high school. And by the time I got to that age, like they were just tired. Like I got away with kind of murder when it came to like going out and stuff in high school, just because my sisters were the ones that brought across in regard to taking all the heat.
That's how it works, dude. Trust me, I got my brothers hate me. They're like, "Man, you fucking got it easy, motherfucker," this and that. And I think that's just how it is. Like, I mean, that's just how it is in this world we live in. And I appreciate it, but they definitely had it rough. But hey, man, you got me where I'm at. No kids, you know what I mean? Fuck it.
Doug, you know what though? I remember. Okay, this is gonna be the last comment because I don't want it to get too smutty. But I remember, Doug. So my friend that I told you that his mom, bought him condoms and stuff. Doug, I remember one time. So she used to work with people with special needs, and dog, she came home, so me and my homie were at the pad, and she came and she was like telling us about this story, dog. She said this dude, this malito, she's like, he was a little slow, and she said he whooped out his shit, and she says, dog, she's telling us how big it is, and she's like, and then he just starts going at it, and you're like,
Oh fuck.
and you're like, I'm like, dog, I need to go home, dog. I just was like, but she was like telling us, like, she came home from work and she's like, kind of like, man, you wouldn't believe the day I had, And she's like, and then, he pulls it out and está grandote, And I was like, what the? Oh my God, dog. So that was, shout out to that homie. If you're out there, you know who you are.
Lisa says she respect that. I'm assuming you're talking about my mom. And then, hey, I'm not the only one. Fool, look, Magical Mecha says my mama showed me how to do it too. So, hey, let's go, dog.
I don't think it's that. I think he was laughing at the comment I said about when your girl, and then you said, no, my mama showed me how to do it. Either that or he's in the same boat with you. I don't know. It could be either one. You never know.
And Lisa says some parents let school do it, and school is like tame, bro. I don't even know how to teach that shit anymore. And by the time I got that shit to school, like, bro, I was already smashing and doing bullshit. Like, if I wouldn't have had that lesson before then, like, I would have been like making mistakes or doing dumb shit. You know,
they teach you like senior year, and you're like, you already have 2 kids.
Yeah, dude.
No, I remember, dog. It reminds me because you said it wasn't like unheard of for people to have kids in high school, dog. I have so many friends that had kids in high school. I'm not even kidding by saying so many. So. Did you guys ever have, like, with rival high schools, during Spirit Week is what we had, where they would have, like, dress down the other school? So you would have, like our rivals were, like, the Kofa Kings. So it would be, like, like, the dudes would dress up like a girl or something, like the Kofa Queens or some shit or whatever. So, dog, at their schools, what they used to do to make fun of us when it was dressed down, well, and then EJ, a little bit of backstory. My mascot was the Yuma Criminals. So, so when it was dressed down the Yuma Criminals Day, the chicks would walk around with like a basketball in their shirt and shit. That's how common it was that people would get pregnant at my school. So, so yeah, that happened too.
Bro, we had a school inside the school that was for pregnant chicks, and there was like a daycare and shit in there. Like that's how it was just like that last set of bungalows down there.
We had one of those too.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was called like TAP or something, dog. It was like Teenage Parents or something. They're like, yeah,
Yep.
but there was something. It was a program we had like that in school, dog. You get to 9th grade, dog. You drop off your kid, and then you go learn. Like, come on, dog. That's just what you did, So I mean, man, dog, it's crazy. And
I swear it was like an elective too, where like they fucking taught them how to like do parent shit or mom shit. I feel like I swear to God, dude, I was like, oh, what's your elective? Like, oh, I gotta go to parent ed and shit to take care of my kid and like show me how to change a diaper and bullshit. I swear to God, dude.
Hey,
That shit was
today we're
crazy.
gonna talk about government assistance. You're like, oh hell yeah, dog. Oh, come on, Wick, right?
Wick.
Is Wick national or is that some Arizona shit?
No, that's here in Nevada, and I remember it was in Cali.
Lisa says your mascot was a criminal. Yeah, I tried to share a picture with Luis last week. So yeah, we were the criminals. Actually, our mascot was featured on the Today Show, dog, because we're the only criminals in the whole country. Andrew says, man, I guess I had a sheltered childhood. Yeah, my childhood was sheltered, but then when you got to a certain school, like, yeah, once the floodgates opened for us, it was pretty bad, dog. It was pretty bad. Yeah, well, dog, I remember in 6th grade, a cop ran over my homie, and he fucking his like lung collapsed and shit, because my friend was running from the cops in the alley. And they're like, get down. And when he got down, they ran him over, dog. And they had like punctured one of his lungs. And like, I remember going to visit him, dog. Dog, that's funny when you're like in 6th and 7th grade and you got to go visit your homie in the hospital because a cop ran over him. I'm like, that's just some shit that happens, you know?
That's wild.
Yo, switching gear. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I went to like a nerdier high school, so teen pregnancy was not common there. But I remember my freshman year, the senior got pregnant, and the principal was not happy. Like, she didn't let the girl participate in like any extracurricular activities, and she had to fight to get on. Like,
damn, so she like shamed her.
Yeah, she like shamed her. Like, she wore like a scarlet letter. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness, damn.
Damn, that is kind of crazy.
That's how uncommon it was at my school. But yeah, that was nasty work that she got shamed like that.
Yeah, that's so wrong, man. Yeah, because I'm like, dog, obviously life's already kind of, she's fighting against the odds right now, dog. She has a kid, she's 13 or 14 or whatever. I'm like, come on, at least like try and help her out and set her up for success. Let me see, no special class for pregnant chicks at my high school. Okay, maybe that's just certain schools, you know? But yeah, no, then, well, yeah, I know Luis, you said you wanted to switch gears.
Just real quick, I know Cavino, he tends to listen and watch the show and shit, and I just wanted to give him shit. I don't know if he's listening now or future dude, but it was funny how he got his fucking feelings hurt at Rich's Super Bowl party because of his scarf. But like, who the fuck wears a scarf at 90-degree weather and shit? And that's why I threw mine on just in support of that motherfucker and to make fun of him. But I thought it was funny how that lady just called him out and shit. About,
I can't believe that.
That is kind of weird, bro. Like, I don't know if she was busting balls or not, but still.
I'm with Cavino on this one. Like, if I don't know you, like, that's an off-putting comment that you say about me, and I don't even know you like that. Like,
yeah,
I would feel some type of way too.
No, there, and you know what? There was an example I thought of when Cavino said this, and it was okay. I'm trying to be vague for certain reasons, but there was one time where I met a friend of a friend, and they were like, "Oh, this is my boy D," and they're like, "Oh, D's nuts." And I'm like, oh, dog, am I gonna have to knock this motherfucker out right now? You know, but that's what it reminded me of as soon as Cavino said that, because I'm like, dog, you don't do that to somebody you just meet. Like even if she was quote unquote trying to be funny, it's just like, dog. And then the thing that surprised me that is Cavino said, oh, like he had forgot he had it on, and he was like, oh, he took it off and he put it in his pocket. Fuck that, dog. I would have been like, really, bitch? I would have pulled out a beanie. I would have fucking pulled on a fucking fur jacket. I would have been like, all right, bitch, keep talking. And I'll keep layering my clothes. Cause like, dog, and Rich is like, oh, you know, well, she's known as the funny person. Dog, that's again, like I said, that shit about smacking shit out of Rich's hand doesn't fly last week. That shit don't fly. I don't dig it, dog. I don't meet somebody and be like, well, you got a scarf when it's a fucking 100 degrees? Dog, you know what? As long as he's not sweating, then what business is it of yours? Even if he is, dog, and he wants to be Mr. Sweaty, but it goes with his fucking outfit, then cool for him. But to sit there and be like, dog, and I could understand, like, dog, like my buddy, I had a buddy. He was scarf guy and the little beanies, right? And we used to call him Coldplay whenever he would fucking show up, dog. We're like, dog, who invited Coldplay? We'd back on him. But he would stand his ground. He's like, man, fuck you guys. Look at this is the bitches like this, dog. That's what he used to tell us. And be like, dog, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. No bitches like Coldplay, dog. Walking around looking all stupid, dog. So you talk shit. But that was a homie, right? But just to meet somebody, dog, if he would have walked up, that would have been like, hey, this is my friend fucking Roberto. I'm like, hey, what's up, Coldplay? Like, I feel like that kind of, you got to know somebody a little bit, dog, before you start bagging like that. So even if she was Mrs. Funny, I don't think, dog. Magical Mexican says she was peacocking. Yeah, she was pulling a Rich Davis.
But I don't know about like the D's nuts joke. I don't know if they said it in a joking way to you, but the way Cavino was describing it sounds like she wasn't even doing it in a joking manner. Like she almost did it like in a serious manner, which is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, and and that was where they were kind of joking when they were like, "Oh, D's nuts," like whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, but still, I'm just saying it didn't sit really pretty with me. But yeah, no, she did sound like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Type of shit. That's how I took it.
Me too.
And I was just like, dog, I don't know, dog. I don't know. I know we have a few more minutes, dog, and I have a couple of questions for you guys before we actually wrap it up. Because EJ, again, want to thank you for being here. Luis, as always, thank you. But I have a couple of questions because Cavino had to go and drop off wings to Melody's Super Bowl party. And one thing that had me laughing, dog, it wasn't even that funny, but they were saying Cavino ordered 100 wings. And he went to go drop them off at her party. I brought 87 wings. I was eating them in the car. That shit had me laughing, dog, and it was stupid. But I have to ask because I felt like they were way off, dog. They were saying, I guess Cavino wanted to pick up Buffalo Wild Wings because it was nearby, and Melody said no, Wingstop. And then Spot's over here going, oh, Wingstop. I had that shit every day when I was in Jersey, blah, blah, blah. Dog, I don't fuck with Wingstop. I do because it's cheap or cheaper than even Buffalo. But, dog, to me, Wingstop is too damn salty. So let me know what you guys got to say.
I feel like Wingstop is like almost the McDonald's of wings. I feel like Buffalo Wild Wings is a step above. So I don't know. The kids seem to be into Wingstop nowadays. I don't know if it's a marketing thing but that's what all the kids
And I don't know
nowadays.
if that's how it is for me too, because for one, we got a Buffalo Wild Wings before we ever got a Wingstop. It had been like a decade or more before we got a Wingstop. But I always enjoyed Buffalo. Even now, they were bagging on it. But in my mind, they always have fatter wings. They always taste better. They're always like, I don't know. Wingstop to me is just like they have a shitty wing, so they're like, we're just gonna salt the hell out of this to try to give it some flavor. Again, I eat it, so if you ever see my ass at Wingstop, I don't want to hear no lip. I'm on a budget, okay? But I just wanted to know, like, dog, I thought they were way off because they all seem to agree. Like, yeah, nah, Buffalo's trash. Buffalo's trash. So, I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you guys are thinking.
I like Wingstop, and just because the reason you say you don't, I like salty shit. So they do like the lemon pepper shit. Damn, that shit's like that shit tastes like just seasoning and shit. Like, and I love their fries too, because they're salty and the seasoning put on it too.
Yeah, dog. And see the fries with the wings like that. Like my lady loves it. She'll be like, and I'm like. And I feel like a bitch, dog, because I like salty shit. Dog, whenever I'm cooking huevos con weenies and shit, dog, I'll be salting it while I'm making it, and then I put it on my plate and I salt it again. But for me, it's just, I don't know if it's the spices that they put, like, on the actual fries that makes that super salty. The wings are salty. It's just a little too much for me. But one thing Lisa says, dog, is she says she's never even been to a Buffalo Wild Wings. Wow. And I know they have them on the East Coast, dog, because I went to one in Virginia. I know it's not New York where Lisa is, but I know they're close enough. How you never been to a Buffalo Wild Wings, Lisa?
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It might be a good thing because it's not the most healthiest thing. So maybe she's a healthy person.
I'm pretty sure she is, dog. Lisa's way healthier than me. That's for damn sure.
She probably makes her own. They're probably dank too, though.
They're probably better than both places. No, you know what though? It kind of reminds me of like when I was young, dog. We didn't have an In-N-Out probably till like I was in high school. And so anytime I wanted In-N-Out, we had to go to California. Whenever I was visiting my cousins in LA, we would pick up In-N-Out. And so we finally got one. I was like, damn, I wonder if Lisa finally got a Buffalo Wild Wings, if they would just play it out. Just go all the time.
Man, I love me some In-N-Out. Way better than Whataburger. Whataburger's overrated.
100%.
Yeah.
Anytime I go on the West Coast, I got to stop by In-N-Out.
Hell yeah, dog. And you know what? A lot of people say it's overrated. I think it's rated just fine. I can fuck with In-N-Out any time of the day, any day.
Same.
Yeah, that shit's dank. I love that shit. You don't get any out there, do you?
Oh, hold on. Lisa said we do have a Buffalo. She just never went. That deserves another. That's some crazy shit, though. Good for you, Lisa. Good for you.
Yeah, no In-N-Out on the East Coast.
Man,
They have a rule. That's the thing. My brother used to work for them. They have to be like so many hours or so many miles from an actual fresh farm for veggies or meat and shit. So that's why they haven't really ventured out. I mean, the more you go East Coast, you're not gonna get fresh veggies and shit like that. So that's why they kind of have a central hub. I don't know what the actual rule is, but there is some caveats to that shit.
no, Magical Mexican says something good. He says like, remember how like that Yogi Bearism or whatever Yogiism, where it says it's nobody goes there anymore. It's always packed. That's what it is about In-N-Out, dog. Anytime you go to In-N-Out, the line is curling, and they have people with the little iPads and shit taking your order because they're fucking. So that shit is always packed. No Whataburger here. I've only been in one Whataburger. I think I put it on TikTok too. But yeah, dog, I appreciate everybody for being here. EJ, Luis Cortez Jr., you guys have any parting words before we leave? We got to wrap this bad boy up. It's already 8 o'clock or 7.
Happy
or 6.
Valentine's Day, papi. That's all I got, bro. Enjoy you guys. Make sure you guys got your gifts for your significant others. If you're a loner, fucking, I don't know, sign up to OnlyFans, find yourself something, enjoy yourself, take care of yourself, and you should enjoy yourself. And if not, if your spouses, make sure they appreciate each other, and health is wealth. EJ, thanks for joining us, dog. Always a pleasure. Nice to have you here. And then thanks, Vato, for having me, Senor Daniel.
Yeah, I appreciate you all inviting me here. I've been waiting for a long time to get in there.
So
I'm
fun, man.
Finally glad I got the invite. So hopefully I get another invite sometime in the future.
Yeah, dog, you're always welcome. Always. It's so fun, dog, especially when we have somebody here like EJ, like you said, you've lived a few places, right? Get a little bit different perspective. But it's nice when we can there's some things that we do relate to. And that's, I mean, what was so cool about talking to you at the CRC, right? Is like there's so many things different about us, different places, different upbringings. But there's one or two things like Covino and Rich that brought us together that can have us just sit here and bullshit for an hour on a random Tuesday, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you're a fan of the fights, Louise, but Daniel, we got to get you back on Haymaker, man. Talk some fights in the near future.
Yeah, there's some good fights coming up. So I know Brandon Moreno's fighting soon. Sean Strickland's fighting soon. So there's a few things I might have to pop in one of these days and say what's up to you and the homies over there at Haymaker. So check out EJ's podcast, Haymaker. Check him out on Boot to the Face with Rucker. He's doing some cool things. So check out EJ, and we'll link his stuff below for future dudes. I think that's pretty much it, everybody. After show, but later, episode number 326. It's your boys D, Luis Cortez Jr. And today also, right here, we got EJ. EJ Reed, thank you so much, man. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to